In the coming months, the technology market may face something that just 5 years ago seemed like absolute science fiction. According to several Silicon Valley insiders, as well as analysts from Morgan Stanley and former employees of Tesla AI division, the first fully developed home humanoid robots are already entering the final stage before mass sales. And we are no longer talking about exhibition prototypes that slowly walk across a stage and wave at journalists. We are talking about an entirely new type of device, a home AI assistant capable of becoming a full participant in everyday human life. The main symbol of this race remains Tesla Optimus. It is around this project that a huge number of rumors, leaks, and discussions are currently concentrated. According to several technology publications, including insiders from Bloomberg and The Information, Tesla is already actively testing home use scenarios for Optimus inside the company's closed campuses and in employees' homes. Moreover, according to some engineers involved in the tests, Elon Musk is demanding that the team achieve interactions with the robot that feel natural and almost human. And if the leaks are accurate, the home version of Optimus will become the first truly mass-market humanoid robot model capable of moving beyond factories and laboratories. The most interesting part is that society still does not fully realize how dramatically such robots could change the everyday lives of ordinary people. Today, most people imagine a humanoid robot as an expensive toy for billionaires or a strange metallic assistant that can only bring coffee. But reality, apparently, will be completely different. Inside Tesla, according to Western media reports, Optimus is viewed as potentially the company's most mass-market product in history. Elon Musk has repeatedly hinted that in the future, there could even be more robots than cars. Many analysts initially treated these statements as another exaggeration from Musk. But after the latest Optimus demonstrations, investor sentiment began changing rapidly, especially after Tesla showcased updated movement systems, improved hand motor skills, and the robot's ability to learn new actions literally by observing humans. This is now considered the key revolution. Previously, robots had to be programmed separately for every movement. Now, thanks to advances in neural networks, they are beginning to learn almost like humans. According to insiders, the new home version of Tesla Optimus will be equipped with several layers of artificial intelligence simultaneously. One AI system will control physical movement and body balancing. Another will analyze the surrounding environment, while a third will serve as a conversational assistant. And it is this final component that is considered the most important. Tesla is reportedly actively integrating technologies from xAI and Grok into Optimus, transforming the robot from a simple mechanical executor of commands into what is essentially a living digital assistant. This means that people will be able to talk to the robot almost as if they were talking to another human being. Moreover, some testers claim that the newest versions of Optimus are already capable of maintaining long conversational context, remembering the owner's habits, and adapting to the personality of the family. For example, the robot will be able to understand who likes coffee without sugar, who usually wakes up earliest, which products are running low in the refrigerator, and even what movies the children prefer. This is where the most interesting part of the entire story begins. Because for the first time in human history, people may receive a device that constantly remains nearby inside the home while possessing full intelligence, vision, hearing, and the ability to independently make small decisions. According to analysts at Goldman Sachs, home humanoid robots are capable of creating a market worth tens of trillions of dollars. The reason is simple. They could replace an enormous amount of everyday human labor. This is not only about physical labor. The new generation of robots could potentially perform the functions of caregivers, home assistants, security guards, nannies, cleaners, cooks, couriers, and even companions for lonely people. According to leaks from Tesla, the home version of Optimus will wake up almost at the same time as the homeowner. The robot will be connected to the smart home system and will already know when the person usually wakes up. At night, Optimus will automatically switch into an energy-saving mode, and in the morning it will activate itself independently. Imagine an ordinary family morning a few years from now. The kitchen lights are already on. The coffee machine is making coffee. The refrigerator screen displays the weather forecast and the day's schedule. And while the parents are only beginning to wake up, the robot is already starting its first tasks. It can prepare breakfast, get the children ready for school, check the charge of the Tesla electric vehicle, unload the dishwasher, and even iron clothes. And all of this will happen simultaneously thanks to a multitasking system. According to several insiders, Tesla is especially focused on the household functions of the robot. The company's engineers clearly understand that people will not buy an expensive humanoid robot just for an impressive walking animation. That is why the main emphasis is now placed on practical usefulness. For example, one of the key functions is cooking. Sources claim that Tesla is training Optimus on massive amounts of YouTube videos, cooking courses, and recordings of professional chefs' movements. The robot analyzes how people cut vegetables, how they handle pans, how they visually determine when food is ready, and even how they set the table. Thanks to this, the home version of Optimus will gradually be able to prepare simple meals almost without human involvement. And in the future, the robot could do this fully autonomously. For example, in the morning, a family tells the robot they want pasta for dinner. During the day, Optimus independently checks whether the ingredients are available, orders grocery delivery if necessary, and in the evening begins cooking. The technology could especially transform the lives of lonely people. Many experts believe that this category of users will become one of the first mass audiences for humanoid robots. Today, millions of people around the world live alone, work remotely, and spend huge portions of their lives without social interaction. According to some psychologists and futurists, home AI robots could partially solve the problem of social isolation. Modern neural networks are already capable of holding conversations, making jokes, and adapting to a person's emotional state. Now imagine that this intelligence receives a physical body. The robot could talk with a person during dinner, help around the house, accompany them on walks, and even monitor their health. Some analysts believe that elderly people will become one of the primary user groups for such systems, especially in Japan, South Korea, and Europe, where populations are aging rapidly. But the most incredible part is how quickly humanoid movement technology itself is advancing. Just a few years ago, robots moved slowly, awkwardly, and constantly lost balance. Now, the newest versions of Optimus can walk almost like humans. According to Tesla engineers, an enormous amount of time was spent specifically on teaching natural movement. The human body performs thousands of micro-corrections every second. When a person walks through a kitchen, they automatically compensate for floor surface changes, body inertia, and the placement of surrounding objects. For a robot, this is an incredibly difficult task. However, thanks to neural networks, Tesla began training Optimus using real video recordings of human movement. And that is exactly why the latest versions of the robot appear significantly more alive. According to analysts' forecasts, the first home versions of Optimus will be incredibly expensive. Some sources mention prices ranging from $25,000 to $40,000. However, inside Tesla, there is reportedly a long-term goal to reduce the robot's cost to the level of an average car. Elon Musk has repeatedly hinted that in the future, Optimus could cost less than a car. That is considered the main condition for a true revolution, because as long as a robot costs as much as a luxury sports car, it will never become a mass-market product. But if Tesla truly manages to manufacture millions of humanoids at its giant factories, the situation could change radically. According to some insiders, Tesla is already testing fully automated Optimus assembly lines. And the most interesting part is that some of these robots could potentially assemble other robots. Elon Musk previously spoke directly about the concept of a machine that builds the machine. Many analysts believe this is exactly what will allow Tesla to drastically reduce production costs. Moreover, according to rumors, the company is already using certain Optimus elements inside its factories. Robots help carry parts, sort components, and perform simple repetitive tasks. And if these tests prove successful, Tesla could scale production incredibly fast. But along with the excitement surrounding humanoid robots, fears are also beginning to grow. Because for the first time, humanity is facing machines that look like people, move like people, and could potentially perform a huge portion of human labor. Some economists are already calling Optimus the most dangerous technology for the labor market since the Industrial Revolution. The reason is simple. If a robot can work 20 hours a day without vacations or salaries, an enormous number of professions suddenly become threatened. This especially affects low-skilled labor: cleaners, loaders, kitchen assistants, warehouse workers, couriers. All of these jobs could potentially start disappearing faster than society expects. However, supporters of the technology argue that robots will actually free people from routine work. In their view, humanity is receiving a chance to hand over exhausting household responsibilities to machines for the first time. Imagine how much the life of an ordinary family could change if nobody had to spend hours cleaning, cooking, and doing laundry anymore. People would be able to spend more time with their children, focus on creativity, or simply rest. This is exactly the vision of the future currently promoted by supporters of the AI revolution. Tesla is paying special attention to robot safety. According to leaks, home versions of Optimus will have multiple layers of protection. First, the robot's physical strength will be software limited inside the house. Second, Optimus will receive a system for constant environmental analysis. The robot will monitor the positions of people, children, and animals around it to minimize the risk of injuries. In addition, Tesla is actively discussing so-called ethical limitations internally. According to rumors, Optimus will not be able to execute potentially dangerous commands without owner confirmation. For example, the robot will not be allowed to use kitchen knives near children without additional supervision. Nevertheless, many experts are already warning about new risks. Because a home humanoid robot is essentially a constantly active surveillance system inside an apartment. Optimus will see everything, hear everything, and analyze enormous amounts of personal information. And this raises the main question: who will own that data? Some analysts fear that technology corporations could gain an unprecedented level of access to people's private lives. According to cybersecurity experts, humanoid robots could potentially become one of the most vulnerable targets for hackers. Imagine the consequences if someone gained remote access to a home robot capable of moving through an apartment and interacting with physical objects. That is why governments in different countries are already beginning to discuss regulation of AI robots. In Europe, according to Politico, closed discussions are underway about creating special rules for home humanoids. Some politicians are demanding mandatory emergency shutdown systems, restrictions on autonomous actions, and transparency in data processing. In the United States, the situation is developing more slowly for now, but after the explosive growth of neural networks, authorities have begun to realize that regulation is inevitable. According to rumors, there are already working groups within the US administration analyzing the potential risks of the mass spread of humanoid robots. At the same time, China has no intention of staying on the sidelines either. In fact, Chinese companies are now considered Tesla's main competitors in the humanoid race. Unitree, Fourier Intelligence, Xiaomi Robotics, and several other manufacturers are already actively showcasing their own versions of home robots. Moreover, Chinese companies are focusing on aggressively lowering prices. Some analysts believe China will attempt to repeat the electric vehicle scenario, first rapidly scaling production, and then literally flooding the global market with cheaper robots. That is why the humanoid race is gradually becoming not only a technological competition, but also a geopolitical battle. It is also interesting how the design of future homes may change. Architects are already beginning to discuss housing concepts adapted for humanoid robots. For example, kitchen countertops may become slightly lower, so Optimus can interact with appliances more comfortably. Special charging stations could appear inside walls, and household appliances may begin integrating directly with the robot's AI systems. In essence, the homes of the future may be designed not only for humans, but for robots as well. According to insider information, Tesla is also working on the possibility of continuous Optimus updates through the internet. This means the robot could become smarter literally every week. Imagine a situation where today your robot only knows how to clean the house and cook simple meals, but a year later, after updates, it is already capable of helping children with homework, learning new languages, and even performing minor equipment repairs. This factor is exactly what makes humanoids especially dangerous for competitors, because Tesla will be able to constantly improve robot capabilities even after the sale. Many analysts compare the current moment to the arrival of the first smartphones. In the early 2000s, people also did not fully understand how dramatically smartphones would change everyday life. Now imagine a device that does not simply sit in your pocket, but physically interacts with the surrounding world. That is why some futurists believe the mass arrival of humanoid robots will become an event comparable to the Industrial Revolution. The issue of emotional attachment between humans and robots is being discussed especially actively. According to psychologists, the human brain very quickly begins perceiving humanoid objects as living beings. Even today, many owners of simple robot vacuums give them names. Now imagine a full humanoid assistant that talks, helps around the house, and is constantly nearby. Some researchers believe this could radically transform social relationships in society. And the most surprising part is that all of this could begin much sooner than many expected. Just a few years ago, experts predicted the mass arrival of home humanoids closer to 2035. Now those timelines are shifting dramatically. According to several technology analysts, the first limited batches of home robots could appear within the next year or two. At first, these will be expensive models for wealthy buyers and technology enthusiasts. But if Tesla and Chinese companies truly manage to scale production, then by the end of the decade, humanoid robots could become as ordinary a part of life as smartphones or laptops are today. That is why many experts call the next 5 years one of the most dangerous and at the same time most exciting periods in the history of technology, because humanity stands on the threshold of machines that, for the first time, will be able to physically exist alongside people on a permanent basis. And the question is no longer whether home humanoid robots will appear. It now seems almost inevitable. The main question is something else: how quickly society will manage to adapt to a new reality where every day an artificial intelligence in a human body will stand beside people. The deeper Tesla and other companies move into the development of home humanoids, the more the very concept of the future family begins to change. According to several futurist research centers, by the early 2030s, developed countries could see the emergence of an entirely new type of home environment, where a robot becomes as normal a part of the household as a refrigerator or television. Moreover, many analysts are convinced that the first owners of Optimus will not perceive it as technology at all, but rather as a digital member of the family. This is especially true when it comes to children. Psychologists working with AI systems are already warning that young children may become emotionally attached to humanoid robots incredibly quickly. If a robot helps a child get ready for school every day, plays with them, tells stories, answers questions, and helps with homework, the human brain gradually begins perceiving it as a living being. And this is exactly what is now causing enormous debates within the scientific community, because humanity has never before faced a situation where artificial intelligence receives such a realistic physical embodiment inside an ordinary family. According to insiders, Tesla is already testing scenarios in which Optimus helps children learn foreign languages, mathematics, and even music. The robot will be able to adapt education to a specific child, understand their weaknesses, and select an individualized approach. Some experts believe such systems could potentially make education dramatically more effective. Imagine every child having a personal AI tutor available 24 hours a day with practically infinite patience. Moreover, through constant behavioral analysis, the robot could even detect changes in a child's mood. For example, if a student begins losing concentration or appears emotionally withdrawn, the system could automatically notify parents. An even more interesting application for Optimus appears in elderly care. According to the World Health Organization, the global population is aging rapidly, while shortages of caregivers and medical staff are becoming a worldwide problem. That is why many governments are already closely monitoring the development of humanoid robots. In Japan, where the aging crisis is especially severe, several companies have already begun testing home assistant robots for elderly people. But Optimus could potentially take this idea to a completely different level. The robot could help a person get out of bed, bring medication, monitor blood pressure, track nutrition schedules, and even call emergency services in critical situations. Some analysts believe healthcare and elderly care could become one of the largest markets for humanoids. But at the same time, the number of alarming scenarios is also growing. Some security specialists believe humanity may be underestimating the speed of AI development. Today, Optimus looks like an expensive technological assistant, but within a few years, its intelligence could become significantly more autonomous. And this is exactly what worries some researchers the most. According to several Western publications, closed discussions are already taking place inside major AI companies regarding potential limitations for humanoid systems. Some engineers fear that competition between the United States and China could lead to the rushed release of insufficiently tested robots. Companies are afraid of falling behind each other, which means the pressure on developers is becoming enormous. One topic being discussed especially actively right now is the complete integration of robots with smart home ecosystems. According to rumors, Tesla wants to transform Optimus into the central element of the entire home infrastructure. The robot will be able to interact with Tesla vehicles, solar panels, Powerwall systems, home security, and even medical sensors inside the house. In essence, Optimus could become a unified AI center coordinating nearly every aspect of a family's daily life. Imagine this. In the evening, the robot automatically checks the car's battery level, analyzes nighttime electricity prices, starts the laundry at the most cost-efficient time, adjusts the home temperature, and simultaneously prepares a schedule of tasks for the next day. And all of this happens with almost no human involvement. Some experts already describe such a system as the first step toward a fully automated lifestyle. And the most surprising part is that technologically, many elements of this future already exist right now. Neural networks have learned to understand human speech, computer vision has reached an incredible level, and batteries are becoming more powerful every year. The main challenge for companies today is combining all of these technologies inside one stable humanoid robot. And judging by the scale of investments, the world's largest corporations are convinced this will happen much sooner than most people expect.